Da 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 da. Alright, share. Copy a link. Open up the Discord. Shake my drink. Oh, Discord closed. Apparently. I'm going to advertise this on Discord. Discord is closed. Do you make this hard? Discord made a marketing campaign. That's interesting. Alright. I'm gonna go over to the here. And go to the here. And go to the here. No, that is not what I want. I want...
Your dad's back.
Hi.
Hi, bud.
We are live on the internet.
Already?
Yes. I said 7 o'clock exactly. So now I'm just gonna wait for Dad. Alrighty.
I hope this is not loud.
No, we're louder than it. It's some background noise, but we're loud. I talk louder than that. So.
Probably wait until your dad comes.
Let's see.
So I'll move this.
Let's go to here, and we go over to here. Oh, look at all this stuff. Recent files. I want to go to... Pictures. New folder. New folder. Alrighty then. Oh, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, this. Alright. Alrighty. I'm waiting. Waiting a while. Waiting for Dad. What you watching? What is this? More emails? No, just... That's fine. Alright. So we're here. We are here with the podcast. It's been 9 minutes. Dad hasn't showed up yet. We're going live anyway. It's 7 o'clock. Da 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 da. That is a lot of stuff on a pickaxe. Welcome to the podcast. You're live on the internet.
You've got mail. Am I late yet?
Yes,
How late?
10 minutes.
Anybody watching?
I have no idea.
Are we live?
Yes.
No, we are not.
Yes, we are.
You're live.
Yes, that's right
I
there.
don't think so.
It's live, right
Hi,
there.
world.
Live for 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
We've been airing silence for 9 minutes and 15
I've been
seconds.
talking,
About?
waiting for you,
Aha!
and setting up the podcast.
I'm here.
We're here with the music. With a little bit of intro music.
Yes, we have intro music today. That was a little bit off.
Some of those were a little bit
Yeah.
fuzzy, yeah.
Hello, world. We're here. Did you miss us?
Hello and welcome back to the Stream of Consciousness, a Rubber Mushroom podcast. I'm Turtle Cube. I'm here with Turtle Dad.
I'm Turtle Dad. I'm here with Turtle Cube.
And yeah, it's been what, a week, 2 weeks since the last one?
We missed one, and yeah, 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Because we're going to do the Electric Cars podcast.
Right. Today's Electric Cars Day, but we've got other things to do too.
Unless I just keep sidetracking you and talking about electric cars.
You could do that. That'd be easy.
Yes.
Are you joining us? You're just sitting there by yourself? We'll talk about you.
Sure.
She's so easy to get along.
Gossip.
She's so easy to get along with. Do you have a turtle name? You need a turtle name.
I don't know. What's
You
the
could be Turtle Princess?
No, she'd need something not turtle related.
Why?
Because turtle is like a blood relation.
Well, what's another close relation that's not blood? Iguana?
You're not calling her iguana.
Wait, what is
I
it?
don't think you're an iguana.
Iguana? No.
No. He says it can't be turtle. What animal would you like to be?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't.
Dolphin.
Oh, dolphin? Sure. I love dolphins.
She can be turtle dolphin.
No, turtle. It's like you are. We need something turtle related, but something that flies. Turtle dove, brilliant.
Turtle dove.
Oh my god.
Great.
Turtle
Turtle dove.
Thanks, turtle.
You could be turtle dove.
Wait, what's turtle dove?
It's a bird.
It's a type of bird, yeah.
Sure. Why would I have to look this up?
Yeah, you should not trust us. Just don't trust us.
No, but like if she didn't have her name, it would have to be something, that fits her more.
Fits her what?
More. Fits her more.
They're pretty birds. Well, wherever I looked is a European
Yeah.
turtle dove. Okay.
Because I mean, like, we have Bunny and Doodle and Donut, who are related to me. And then me, the turtle. And my parents, Turtle Mom and Turtle Dad. They're not Bunny Mom and Bunny Dad, they're Turtle Mom and Turtle Dad. But, like...
Good point.
But, like, Sarah is just Sarah. And whenever we've referenced Karen, it's just Karen. They don't have their own names. Because you became Turtle Dad because you don't have a recurring name that you use online.
Fred? I go by Fred sometimes.
Sometimes. And you go by Tron Coder sometimes. And you go by Turtle Dad the movie sometimes. But that came from Turtle Dad.
Yeah, because Turtle Dad was taken.
Right, but you've had lots of different online names.
It's because I don't want anybody tracking me.
But with me and my younger siblings, we kind of generally have used one relatively consistently. The same for Karen and Sarah. Neither of them have a consistent, this is what I use online sort of thing. I mean, Sarah kind of does. She has Karate Princess, but that's a bit of a mouthful.
True.
So I would be open to try and find something that we can call her. But I don't really know because she doesn't really use anything consistently. Do you remember like 2 years ago? When we had,
it was way too long ago.
but it's related to this.
Alright, go ahead.
One of the early iterations of the original Rubber Mushroom podcast. I don't even remember what it was called. Did we call it the Rubber Mushroom podcast then? We had David DeLuca on for an episode. And during that episode, I think it was, I don't even know if you were there. I know it was me and David DeLuca. It might have been Mouse. But David DeLuca doesn't have a online name. And so by the end of the episode, ended up giving him the name Awesome Possum.
Awesome Possum.
Yep. Awesome Possum.
Is it Awesome Possum or Awesome Possum?
Awesome possum.
Awesome possum.
Awesome possum.
It doesn't rhyme.
Awesome possum does.
No, it doesn't.
The way I'm
awesome
saying it does.
possum
It's
or
awesome
awesome
possum.
Sorry.
Awesome possum.
Kidding yourself.
Awesome possum. Why do you say awesome? It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome. Porsum.
Porsum? Where'd the R come
We're
from?
close. Never mind.
You're the only one. No, she's Rhode Islander. But I'm not a Rhode Islander.
Go ahead.
I don't get
Just
those
give away
extra
our
Rs.
position. You might as well give our longitude and latitude away while you're at
I
it.
don't know Orlando. They already know we're from Mass.
Massachusetts is big.
So is Rhode Island.
Big compared to what?
The city of Providence.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
there are ranchers in Texas bigger than Rhode Island.
but it's still. Do you want to try combing the entire state of Rhode Island trying to find someone?
Combing? Is that a hair joke? Am I supposed to be insulted by this?
What? Yes, but no.
Karen's like, I hope they go away soon because I just.
No, I'm watching TikTok.
Oh, here we are, doing a live podcast, giving it all of our attention and enthusiasm and a good 30 seconds worth of pre-thought. And she's chosen TikTok.
Yes.
Right.
You do need to give me a bit more time to get these podcasts ready.
But then there wouldn't be stream of consciousness. See, stream of consciousness is just like
Right, but
right
if you're
there.
going to send me pictures of stuff,
Yes.
I need time to be able to put them in the program and rename them so I know what they are so I can pull them up quickly.
Oh, I suppose.
I can't really do that when you give it to me
Oh, fudge.
10 minutes before we're
covered
supposed to
Oreos.
be going
Why do
live.
you have fudge-covered Oreos?
They were on sale,
All right.
and I'm like, that looks delicious, and so I bought them. Because I have money.
Okay.
Was it a waste of money?
Well,
Most
I mean,
definitely,
I-
yes.
You know, it's like, you know, it's not a waste of money if you like fudge-covered Oreos doused in chemicals that'll kill you. No, it's not a waste of money.
I mean, an Oreo is just a bunch of chemicals that can kill you.
Mm,
Technically, water is just a bunch of chemicals that could kill you.
water can't... Well, I mean, you could drown in it, I suppose, but yeah, it's fine. You drowned in this cup of water.
Overdose on fluoride and you can die.
It takes a lot of fluoride.
How much is in the water? You don't know. There could be a lot.
Wait a minute, Karen's crying. No, she's not crying.
No, she's laughing.
She's laughing at something
Smiling.
cute.
Definitely not me.
Not me. Definitely not me.
There's like a cosplay with a little boy and his mom.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
What are they cosplaying as?
The son is like Tanjiro and they're like Demon Slayer characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's an anime, by the way.
Figured that out.
Did you?
You did.
Alright. So, 20 minutes into the episode, how's your week?
Mine's pretty good.
That's it? Not gonna elaborate?
No, generally pretty good. Actually, it was pretty good. I had a very productive week at work,
That's good.
and the projects around here are coming along, and both of those are good things because we're making progress. Winter is coming, as you know. Happens every year this time of year.
Winter is coming, the goose is getting fat.
And
You
so no,
don't-
actually, it was a good week. Let's see.
It's really hard to try and do some sort of comedic thing when I throw something at you to bounce off of,
Yes.
and you just don't say anything, go, yeah, and then go right back to the sentence you were talking about. Happens a lot.
Yeah.
I hate you.
See, that was funny. All right.
I know, which
We
is why I hate you.
Have you recognized my song yet? I've only been playing it for what, 20 episodes?
I recognize it as something that I should really recognize.
So let's talk about what we came here to talk about today.
Would so smash the demon?
Would so smash? That's what we're here to talk about.
No, that's just a question somebody DM'd me.
Would so smash the demon? No
Like,
idea what that means.
75% of the
No.
messages that he sends me are not grammatically coherent in any stretch. So,
I wonder if it means something in a different language. It could be Egyptian. I was just watching a video on Egyptian.
Oh, really? What about Egyptian?
They think they know what it sounded like.
Really?
Yes, do not ask me to pronounce it. I can't say anything, but it was an interesting video.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, so electric cars did come up
Yes.
in conversation this week, and because President Biden has set a goal that 50% of cars sold in the U.S. by 2030 will be electric. That's his goal.
All right.
Not a mandate, just a goal. What that means, nobody really knows. But I think it's unrealistic. My personal opinion.
Quite possibly.
And I'm not really even sure electric cars save energy. I'm not really sure. I'm not convinced they save the planet. I think they're just like,
Well, are they trying to save energy, or are they trying to use a different type of energy?
they're trying to save the planet is what it's all about. You know, it's like save the
right,
whales, save the planet.
right.
save,
But the
you know,
whole
save the
thing,
fruit flies.
the whole thing that I've been noticing. Don't save the fruit flies. Those things are stupid.
Fine.
But the whole thing that I've been noticing with that is that the goal is not to save energy. The goal is to transition into an energy that has fewer side effects.
No, you're right. It's not to save energy. We use all the energy you want,
Right.
as long as it doesn't have these terrible side effects.
Exactly, which
Right.
is
So
the
that's fine.
thing. I don't
But-
think these cars are going to save
Well,
energy.
okay, then
but if they
you're
can
right.
use an energy that causes fewer side effects,
You're right, and I phrased
that's
it
a
wrong.
bonus.
I phrased it wrong, but I do not think they can.
You do not think they can? Why?
Because I have not seen a study that says anything about how much energy they actually save. That is, how much
Okay.
fossil fuels they don't burn
Right.
to charge all these batteries.
Yeah.
And how we're going to do that and still power everything else on our electric grid, which, by the way, in states that are going high towards green energy, are having the most, like, grid problems
Mhm.
because they just can't produce enough. So I don't know how we're going to do that. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think it is. So,
I think we're gonna need to go back to nuclear power.
oh, I'm a big fan of nuclear. Nuclear is great, but it's a bad word. Nuclear is a four-letter word, you know. And trust me, it's four-letter. N-U-K-L. Or
N-U-K-L. That's still 5.
Nuclear was a great option. It came out, when it came out in the 60s and 70s, I was like, oh, great. And then all this nuclear waste thing, and the eco people got all freaked out. And,
That's more eco-friendly than coal. Did you hear what Germany did?
they won gold medals?
Probably.
No, what else did they do?
Well, Germany has been one of the leaders in green energy.
Yeah.
Solar, wind, stuff like that. And they've been doing fantastically with the percentage of the country that runs off of this cleaner energy.
Yeah.
To the point of where it was voted on and they shut down their nuclear power plant.
Great.
But then they're like, ah, crap, we aren't making quite enough power, so we need to subsidize this. So you know what they did?
They started burning fuel. Coal.
They started burning coal to temporarily to subsidize it until the green energy could keep up. And I'm like, that seems super counterproductive.
Because you can't just turn a nuclear power plant off and then turn it back on.
Exactly.
It takes a little time to get that puppy going. So,
But it's like, why not wait? Why not just get rid of all the coal ones and keep the nuclear on for a little while? You would think.
It's all politics. It's not science. Science does not exist in the world anymore. It's not. We're not. Everybody says, "I follow the science." No, you don't. You follow the opinions of people who tell you they're following the science, but you don't actually follow the science yourself.
See, I think it could be possible. Well, it obviously is possible to cut down, because I thought the biggest thing that people are trying to cut down on is carbon emissions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Carbon emissions from burning fuel, carbon emissions from burning coal. It's the CO2.
Yeah, sure. cut it down. No problem.
which it is being cut down drastically from what it was.
Oh, totally. The U.S. is burning a lot less stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is great. And I do not see this push for electric cars to reverse that.
Why would it?
I won't.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
But I don't really see any downside to push for electric
Oh, I don't
cars.
see a downside either.
I don't fully think that, you know, switching all to electric will save the planet.
You gotta
I am a
make
little
that electricity somehow.
right.
You
Right.
gotta
You
do something.
gotta make the electricity. How you make the batteries.
Yeah.
You know, that process has
how do
a
you-
ton of emissions.
Yeah,
and
how do you
stuff.
get rid of the batteries? How do
Yeah.
you know, what does that do to
Um,
the environment? What do we do with those puppies?
But
We could bury them where we were going to bury the nuclear waste.
I
Wait, hold on.
still think we should shoot it into space. But
That might be doable now with all the reusable and cheaper rockets we have. I wonder if anybody's really looked at that. Okay.
all you need to do is figure out a way to slingshot it out of the atmosphere too.
I don't think it's quite that simple, but
But if you could do that with minimal fuel and not have to retrieve a rocket at all.
space is big though. It could just go for a while.
Exactly. Run into Saturn or something. Nobody would notice.
Yeah, right. Anyway, you were
You
saying.
could find like 20 lithium-ion batteries on Saturn in like 700,000 years and be like, where'd these come
Where'd these
from?
come from?
You know?
Anyway, before we
but
got,
nobody would care.
before we started talking about Saturn, what were you saying?
What was I saying? Oh, I think there is a benefit to having more widespread diversity of energy options.
Oh, I totally agree with that, and I am all in favor of new sources of energy and green energy and all that. It's just that all the hype that's behind it sets it up for failure. Right? It's not realistic to think that. Now I understand. Okay, we got to push beyond what's realistic and dream and all that stuff. But a lot of these decisions we're making, I think they cost us more in the long run because we're not looking at things realistically. Right? If you want to really have electric cars,
Yeah.
then you need to make cars that people actually want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have to be able to sustain themselves on the highway, in the mountains, in the snow, in the wintertime when you're stuck in traffic
Mm-hmm.
for hours. I don't trust any electric car to do that.
All right.
I just don't.
Just being honest, I do not think that electric cars are going to become a huge hit countrywide. I think, yeah, it is quite possible that they could be, 50% of the cars sold in the U.S. Why? Because that 50% is California and Texas.
Right, yeah, right. Right.
All
Yeah.
the calmer weather sort of things, you're just dealing with heat, you're not really dealing with mountains, you're not really dealing
Yep.
with floods. And then in other parts of the country, you have the gasoline or the diesel or the hydrogen or whatever, You have other types of cars, and I think setting that goal of we want 50% of the cars sold in the U.S. to be electric, I don't think that's a completely unreasonable goal because of how big the U.S. is. Just with population
Well, yes.
wise.
You're right. You look at it that way. I mean,
50%. If you
yeah,
have the
yeah.
southern half of the U.S., that's
Yeah.
more than 50% of the population
Yeah.
right there, because nobody lives in North Dakota.
Yeah, right.
You know?
it's two hunters and an elk. That's all you got, right?
Exactly.
So
I don't think it's all that unreasonable of a goal. If you think of it as 50% of the cars in each city in the entirety of the U.S., that's completely ridiculous.
Okay.
But if you look at it in a much broader sense of 50% of all cars I can see 90% of California's cars being electric, either battery or hydrogen.
I can
totally see that.
in numbers wise, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But realistically, again, you need an infrastructure that supports that many
Which is why I
cars.
specifically said California.
Right. But even places that are really pushing it don't have an infrastructure to support a whole lot of cars like that.
Well,
yet.
we didn't
So-
have an infrastructure to support a whole lot of gasoline cars when those first came out either.
What? I'm agreeing with you, and it took a while, and I think the goal was great. I'm just not sure the next 8 years is time to do it.
Is part of Biden's infrastructure plan planning infrastructure for electric vehicles? Because if it is,
I doubt it.
then he might have actually thought ahead of his nose.
I doubt it. Yeah, right. I thought I had his nose. I doubt it because nobody's talking that way. There's no talk of it. There's no, and this is how we're going to do it, right? So if you really had a comprehensive plan, wait a minute, let me finish. If you really had a comprehensive plan, you'd explain it and say, this is how we're going to accomplish it, because that's what gets people excited, right? That's what gets, when your skeptics start going, oh, you've got bases covered. Okay, then it's good. Yes, I'm sorry.
I have
Yes,
a question
it's not question
for
and
you.
answer time yet. We have to have a word from our sponsor.
What is our sponsor?
Okay, first we have to have a sponsor. We'll wait for that. What's your question? Time's up.
What? Who is the last president to actually say, "Here is my plan"?
Ronald Reagan.
Exactly. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. You're right. But that doesn't mean we should accept no plan.
No, but I'm just saying right now in the climate of how things work, every single president for the last 12 years or more has pretty much been, this is what we're going to do. Awesome, great. How in the world am I going to do this? And nobody comes up with it. I have been saying since I could vote, I would love somebody to come out and say, here's what I want to do, and here are some ideas how. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are. If you come out and be the first politician in like 20-something years to say, here's my plans, and this is how I want to accomplish them, I am more likely to vote for you. Because you were showing
totally.
some
Just
amount
give
of
a plan.
competence.
Yeah, that won't happen. and well, that's my point. And that's exactly my point. I'm agreeing with you, there is no plan. Not going to get excited about something that doesn't have a plan.
But I
like the idea.
a lot of the infrastructure is made by and funded by the car companies themselves.
I don't know if that's not completely true. The oil industry and the car industry certainly need each other, right? Because if one were to go away, a whole lot of oil
but
consumption
at some
goes away.
point,
So
all the companies had to get together and be like, all right, how are these nozzles going to be made? How are these pumps going to work?
totally. No, totally.
You know,
yeah,
there has to be some sort of consensus. So in order for there to be, realistically, in order for there, even if the government was involved and said, here's our plan to do this, in order for anything to happen, the companies making the electric vehicles, who there are companies making a ton of electric vehicles now, they're the ones that have to be like, okay, this is the format we're going to use, this is how the pumps are going to work, this is this, this is this. And then that'll start spreading throughout the U.S. just like gasoline pumps did.
Oh, I agree. Eventually it'll work, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying time frame.
What about the time frame?
It's going to take not going to be 8 years before we could support an infrastructure very big. It's going to take probably 20 years, 28 years, maybe 18 years.
Well,
18 years.
It's really hard to figure out time. You can't tell time frame. Especially this president has a really bad time saying anything about certain time frames. He cannot time anything.
I just think 8
What has he said that's been on time?
No, it was anybody says it's been on time, I guess. I don't know. But
no, but realistically though,
you can't do C. It's kind of a stretch. But that's not really C. C is actually that. It's just hard to get.
turn your wrist out more. Other way.
That way?
That sound better.
Better. Maybe like that. I gotta stretch.
That finger has to
Yeah,
be.
I can't get it. No,
Yes,
it doesn't want
yeah.
to do that.
As it can
It doesn't want to do it.
can you rotate your wrist more? Like other way, like outward more.
That way?
This way.
No. That way?
Yeah.
Not and still get there.
Why not?
It hurts.
Because that just. I was gonna say, but that allows your finger to. There you go. Your finger's hitting it.
Hitting it, but you get. Something like that, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll practice.
that one
I'll
was
keep
good.
pra- yeah,
That one was good.
I'll keep practicing.
No, I do remember that one. You really
See,
have to
you
turn
really
your
gotta-
wrist.
yeah.
You really got to turn your wrist to get that one, especially with shorter fingers.
So I'm all for electric cars. I think it's great.
But
I just think statements like
think
that need a little backup.
Yes, statements like that need a little backup, but every president's made stupid statements like that.
Yeah, well, and that's not right. I agree with you, but it's not an excuse.
No.
Okay, so just
But I do not think that you can tell. I do not think you are ever able to accurately predict the time frame something will happen.
no, you're not. But you can
because
you can make more reasonable guesses.
right. But if all of a sudden Toyota, Ford, and Jeep were just like, you know what, we're doing this, and sponsored 50,000 electric charging stations across the U.S. to be made in like 3 years.
Yeah.
You can't predict that, and that would greatly boost the time frame it would take.
Yeah, but they won't do it.
I'm just saying, there's a possibility. they could.
Anything's possible, and fairies could come and make it all happen too.
Shut
but...
up. Why are you so pessimistic?
I'm not pessimistic.
Yes, you are. You're just
No.
like, this will never happen. This is totally. There is a possibility that things can just happen and be like, all right, yeah, no, we're making this happen.
Oh no, it could. It
Which
absolutely
could even
It
more
could.
happen if the U.S.
could.
If the government really wanted to get this through,
Yeah.
to get this, they would be giving the car companies and the fuel companies and stuff. What's the word?
Incentives,
Yeah, but like,
kickbacks,
no,
refunds, tax breaks.
tax breaks.
Thank you.
Give them tax breaks on funding more stations.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of economic things that could happen, sure. And I think you're pointing out, you're kind of helping me make my point. Yes, it could happen. Sure, it could. I agree with you.
Right.
But I don't know of a plan to make it happen.
But I'm just saying that's not how you started out this conversation. You started out this conversation by going, this isn't going to happen. And now you're like, it could happen. It is
Well,
possible,
if-
unlikely, but possible.
Well, okay,
and that's all I'm trying to get you to say.
My statement of it's not going to happen had the implication of, in the current scenario, the way things are set up. I still believe that. It's not going to happen in the
Yes.
current scenario way it's set up. Sure. Next topic.
But things are going to change.
Sure they are.
Nothing is ever going to stay set up the way it is for very long, which is why I don't ever.
I got it. Dang, had it. Well, yeah, that's not right.
Whenever I try and think about the future and will this happen in X time frame and will that happen in X time frame, I have to take into consideration by the time that happens, things will not be in the same place they are now. Infrastructure will be different, funding will be different, political powers will be different. So, in 8 years, we have no idea what the fuel thing is going to look like. We have no idea what anything's going to look like. So you got to kind of take that into consideration because it's not going to stay the same. Obviously, if everything stayed the same, it won't happen in 8 years. But not everything's going to stay the same.
No, things don't stay the same. They always change. I agree. So, okay.
Cool.
My money is on hydrogen.
Hydrogen?
I think when our hydrogen technology takes off, I think it will actually beat out the standard lithium battery power
I think it's very
capabilities.
possible.
It's just not there yet.
Yeah.
And that is that I think has actually a lot more promise than the battery technology we're using.
He takes that as a yes, by the way.
I take that as a yes. Okay, well, good. I don't know what happened, but
Well, we had this, and then he said, I'll take that as a yes.
you squished.
Would so smash the demon?
Yeah, I still don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means
Okay. You may take it as a yes.
either.
Whoever you are. Are you even listening to us? Probably not.
Unlikely.
Probably not. Alright, what's our next step? Do we have a philosophical question for tonight?
You could.
Okay.
want to go stuff? Hold on.
No, I want you to show the cute dog.
All right.
Show the cute dog I found.
All right. We're gonna go boink, and we're going to go boink.
That is
Cute dog.
that. Well, next picture. Eventually he sits still. Next picture. And wait for it. And there he is. Look how cute. But this dog would not stop moving. It was like I was just taking pictures as fast as I could, and every time I did, the thing kept moving. It's like, please stay still, please stay still. Got one right there where he wasn't moving. He was cute and slobbering all over me.
Yes, those type of dogs have lots of slobber. Do you think
Not usually.
another source of energy will pop up?
Dilithium crystals, I think, are a real possibility.
What are dilithium crystals?
The thing they use in Star Trek.
That's not a real possibility, then, is it?
It will be when it's discovered.
Ha ha
On
ha.
this planet somewhere that we would need dilithium crystal energy to get to. I don't know how they did that. But
Yes.
Anyway, I don't know. Some of those powerful things in the universe are suns,
Mm-hmm.
and they run on fusion.
Star Killer Base.
Fission,
Just
I
eat
guess.
the
Fission or
sun.
fusion, I forget. But anyway, I mean that's nuclear power basically. So, is there something more powerful than that? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'm not even saying necessarily more powerful, but like
Just a different.
just different because we have the coal, and then we want, oh, by the way, oil. Oh, by the way, we can refine oil into gasoline.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we can harness the sun to do sorts of this stuff. Oh, if you split two atoms, you can get tons of power.
Yeah, I mean, there
if you
probably
do
are
this.
things we don't even know about. I mean,
So,
maybe
like,
there's something at the quantum level.
do you
that
think-
works. I don't know.
I have a theory that as the planet tries to go this super green,
Yeah.
we need to cut down on all the coal, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Not
against it, just against all the hype around it. But anyway,
I am against the fear mongering that goes on with it.
that's a good way to put it too.
I am 100% for trying to get more diverse energy and more cleaner energy and polluting the planet less. But I am not a fan of all of the fear mongering that goes along with all.
Yes, like you're gonna die in 10 years if you don't do this sort of nonsense. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you that. No, I'm all for alternate sources of energy.
But I have a feeling that as this picks up in the next 10 years, maybe, there's going to be another, oh, actually, this is a really efficient way of collecting energy.
like we didn't know we could do that. And now,
Exactly.
I mean, that would be interesting. I
Like
don't
people
know.
didn't know you could make solar panels when they were first
Right, yeah,
invented.
right,
They were
right.
like, wait, you can just steal energy from the sun? How does that work?
Yeah. No, that very well could be. Material science could bring
So-
up something that we just haven't found
Yeah.
yet. So, sure. I mean, I suppose it's possible.
I'm very curious. I was wondering if people will figure out how to make energy from sound waves or color.
They did it on Monsters Inc.
Yes. They did the laughter and the screams,
laughter
yeah.
and screams.
But I mean, if you could, if you could somehow harness sound waves to create power, cities would be self-sufficient.
Right? We're creating power by making sound from what? How do we do this? Wait.
Well, you'd get the thing that takes the sound,
Yeah.
and then have it make sound. Obviously, it would
Right.
have to make sound, but then you just keep replacing things with that, and eventually it would become an infinite loop.
Well, what you can't do, because it breaks the laws of thermodynamics as far as we know, is create a perpetual energy machine.
It's not
You
technically
can't do
perpetual.
that. There's got to be some loss of energy somewhere.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you break all kinds of laws of physics that just say no, you can't
but
do that.
that'd be so cool.
Hey, very cool.
But
So
no, if you got something that could use sound waves to create energy, you just replace half of the whatever makes energy in cities with those, because cities are always noisy.
you could definitely, you definitely could go a long way
And
with
then
that.
be like,
sure.
hey, look at this. We
even
have
even at 99% efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're losing 1%. Yeah, eventually you'll run out, but it'll take a while.
Granted, you wouldn't want to replace everything with that because then you eventually run out
Everybody be
and
quiet.
you can't
got a
restart.
problem. We got a problem here. It's too quiet.
Everyone starts screaming. Actually, it's totally fine. Just cause mass hysteria. Everyone starts screaming and running around, and all the energy comes back. Look at that. That's how that works, right?
I think so. Something like that.
I'm just playing around different notes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like an actual song or we were just messing with notes.
Just messing.
Alright.
I don't know if I'll buy an electric car if I can have a manual. I want a manual shift electric car. I think that'd be cool. I just like manual shift. It's just fun.
Yeah. I mean, they will 100% make those.
I've yet to see one, but that'd be cool if they did.
They will make them,
You think
though.
so?
Yep. You wanna know why?
Why is that?
Most of Europe uses manuals.
Yeah, why do they still use manuals? They just
Because
like 'em?
manuals are actually cheaper to make.
Oh, alright.
Automatics are easier to learn how to drive, which is one of the reasons America adopted them so
Yeah.
quickly. But manuals are actually cheaper because you don't have to install an automatic transmission.
Well, that's true. I just like them. I think they're fun.
And so most of Europe still has manual cars. And like here in the US, it's hard to find a manual car, but you can find automatic cars everywhere. It's almost the exact opposite in England,
Yes, I heard.
which is kind of funny. My lemonade is gone.
Your lemonade is gone, but we still have 9 minutes. No, excuse me. We still have 11 minutes to entertain our guests. Or
Alright.
one of them.
Oh, one of them?
We have one guest. No, that's us. Wait.
Might not be. I don't know how that works.
Oh, well.
So what do you want to talk about? How do you think
I don't know.
they will get electric cars to work? Do you think they'll get electric cars to work well in snowy environments?
As soon as you can get enough energy, you can do it.
Okay.
As soon as you, because the engines to generate the torque are there.
Yeah.
But so as soon as you can get enough energy, sure, you just got to have something to power it, like an
Okay.
Aqua generator or something. I don't know.
All these fictional things.
Yeah.
Next, you're gonna be
Well,
saying.
if you think about it, okay, that's because all these things we want to do take huge amounts of energy. Like you want to travel through space, you need huge amounts of energy. You want to go faster than the speed of light, you need huge amounts of energy, if that's even possible. Right? So yeah, you need a large, cheap supply of energy. It's just you need it, or you're not
if
going to
you
go anywhere.
faster than the speed of light, are you invisible?
To something outside your frame of reference, I think so. I'm not. You need to ask a physicist that one.
Doodle says hi.
Hi, Doodle. Oh, there's at least one person listening. I think so. I don't know how that works, right? I don't know if that.
Because I
works.
mean, if you're going faster than the speed of light,
well, no, you're not invisible. Because if something is leaving you
mhm.
faster, you're still going to see it if it's not moving. And that's
Right.
it's just that it's leaving, and it's going to take a while for the light to get to you. But it's so no, you're not invisible.
You're just
You're not
Delayed?
invisible. Well, it depends, though. It does depend on what angle you're looking at it from. Because if you're looking at it from the side, its dimension, its length, I think, to you is going to change. So, no, you're not
Right, but
invisible.
like a 3D
it's-
object.
No, you're not invisible, but you're going to look weird.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's as much physics as I can give you right now. I'm not even sure it's it's possible to go faster than the speed of light. It might be. But there are a lot of theories that say in this universe, no, just can't do it. Which is why most of the sci-fi shows that have time travel or something have some kind of way to sneak out of the universe or go into a subspace, do something there and then reappear in our universe.
Yeah.
That's usually the part of the storyline. It's like you've got some kind of wormhole you create or some kind of hyper something you slip into or some kind of subspace you sneak into because it doesn't work in our universe as far as we know.
Right.
So there's always this little twist on it.
As far as we know, but apparently they have Naquita, so who
Right,
knows?
exactly, yeah.
Do you think there are elements we haven't discovered yet? Things that we haven't discovered, like a Naquita, that could be insanely powerful?
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot we haven't discovered, yeah. To say no, we've discovered it all, I think is a little bit naive.
Well, obviously,
And-
yeah, but do you think there is something that powerful that we haven't discovered?
Probably. Or it's probably something we have discovered and just haven't figured out how to tweak it yet. I think that's more likely what it is. It's like we knew atoms were around for a long time until we realized, oh, we can break one open and cause all kinds of havoc.
Literally.
Right. So yeah, I think it's more likely that we'll...
Can you split something smaller than an atom?
Well, that by splitting an atom, you're making something smaller. Now you've got half an atom.
Right, but can you split that half an atom? Would it have the same
Oh,
effect?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it'll have the same effect. At that point, I think it becomes ridiculous. Yeah. Like, I'm not even sure it survives. It might be totally destroyed.
Right, well, atoms are made up of things.
Yeah.
Can you break those things apart?
Yeah, I don't know what happens at that point. Like, I have no idea. Like, can you break a quark apart? Well, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Again, you need a physicist type guy, person, thing.
No, but you just
Can't help
separate something at the quark level. What would happen then?
I don't know.
Can you separate something that
I don't
that
know.
small?
Exactly. All questions we don't know yet.
Ding 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 ding. Let us go here and go here.
What are we looking at?
Oh, that's something we could talk about.
What's this?
Which could go and tie into philosophy.
Okay, let's have it.
Apple has decided that in the
This
new...
requires ominous music.
Yes,
It's ominous.
that is super ominous.
Okay.
Apple has decided that in its newest
Its newest threat to humanity.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, its
really?
newest threat to humanity.
Oh, all right. What's this?
It is going to scan all of your photos, and if any of them have to do with what their AI counts as child pornography,
Yeah.
it will immediately delete them off your phone. No questions asked.
And what gives them the right to do this? Because they can, right?
Well, they're saying it helps protect children, and it helps cut down on the spreading of photos and videos and stuff of that type.
That wasn't the question. No doubt. But what gives them the right to do it? They don't own
it's their
my
product.
They don't own my phone. No.
That's
No,
what
it's
what
my
they're saying.
product.
That's
I
what
bought
they're
it.
saying.
I paid for it.
That's
It's
what they're
not my
saying. It's
product.
our product. This thing here, Apple defends iPhone scanning and calls it advancement in privacy.
I don't know why people buy these products. Why do people still use Twitter? right? I mean, it's obviously nothing but a propaganda arm.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's like, and people are still on it. They're that naive. It's amazing, the stupidity of people. But, that's okay.
I mean, I'm still on it but I use it for other things. I know people are on it, so I announce whenever I go live on Twitter.
Well, that's nice to use it for that, but
Yeah.
to think it's a platform where you can actually say something and have any free speech? No, you say you're allowed to say what they're allowed to
You
say.
can have free speech as long as it falls under their guidelines.
You're right, as long as it's their free speech.
Which, I mean, technically is allowed because they're a private company.
Well, now you can get into that argument. Okay, so what can a private company do? So could Apple do this because they're a private company and they can do what they want?
Technically speaking, they already are.
Right, but
They
is that where we want to go? You're a private company. You can do what you want. So I'll give you my information and you can do what you want with it.
already are. That's called selling it to advertisers.
Exactly. So, you got it's two sides, I don't know, two sides of the argument, but we put these rules in place that supposedly were supposed to make things more fair. But really, it's not.
What
It's
rules are you talking about?
Well, when the internet started and everybody was supposed to be able to say what they want and exchange information and all that, and it was grand for a while until somebody decided, oh, you can't say that. It's a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's an insult to someone, or you might offend someone. Well, wait a minute. Can I or can't I? Is it your responsibility to do that or not now?
Mm-hmm.
And one argument is, well, you're a private company, you can do what you want.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the other side of the argument is that's a big enough space that you need to protect the free speech on that. You, as a private company, no longer have authority over that.
Right.
That's the other side of the coin.
So which one is it? How does it work? Can Apple do this because it's their product? If you buy a product, is it theirs or is it yours? Right? And
Well, yes.
yes, which one?
Because, I mean, with you use a Windows computer. You buy the computer. Technically, the hardware is all yours. The software just gets updated whenever Microsoft feels like it.
They can update it when they feel like it. There's nothing wrong with that. Apple could update its software if it wants to.
Yeah, and it did, and
Yeah.
that's part of the update.
Okay, I understand that. But do I have to allow it?
Well, this is what I'm saying is you really already are. The only reason people are noticing something like this is because they announced it publicly.
Oh, so you're saying if they don't announce it,
If they don't announce it, nobody would have
would
noticed
know.
because it would have just been normal. Oh, Apple updated their
and
iOS.
and my pictures are gone.
And some of my pictures disappeared. That's a little bit strange. I wonder why.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's not their right to do that. Now they're outright lying to people. Now they're outright cheating.
What if they
If they
did
just
say
take
it?
stuff off my phone without telling me about it.
But they
that's
did.
ridiculous.
They did tell you about it. And
Right,
they
they
said,
did.
hey, by the way,
And-
we're doing this.
And I don't like the idea. I think it's a bad idea.
Well, I don't like the idea of microphones constantly listening to me. I think that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea too.
I think that's a really bad idea.
I guess the only option in a situation like this is to choose not to use the product. Right?
Yes.
Right?
The other option, which is not quite as possible, is to go figure out how to, above the product, force the product to be like you pretty much put rules in place retroactively. Saying, okay, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this.
Right.
Which is what will need to happen when it comes to the internet, because right now there's no rules on the internet, and I feel like there definitely needs to be something put out there.
Well, there are rules.
There aren't.
But the companies are making them.
Right, and that's why I think this
So
is the
who
same thing.
should
This is
make
the same
them?
thing I think about big tech companies
Yeah.
too. Big tech companies are like, we're making the rules and all sorts of stuff, and I'm like, I feel like there are entities above the big tech companies.
Who?
Currently, the only ones that are the governments.
Right. So you want them to make the rules?
I think if they don't,
Yeah.
then the tech companies will just get away with whatever the heck they want.
Oh, and it absolutely will. No, there's no doubt.
Because it should, ideally, it should work in a circle. The people control the government control the companies work for the people.
Yes, it
And
should.
that
it
should go like
should
that.
like that.
So
Yep.
when the company does something, the government steps in and says, no, you can't do that. When the government is doing something, the people step in and say, yes, you can or cannot do that. And that is how it should work.
It should work that way. That requires a whole bunch of things we don't have.
Yes.
Okay, so not going to happen. Back to my not going to happen.
Oh my God, stop saying not going to happen. It really bugs me.
Sorry, I just got reality on my side.
No, you don't.
I sure do.
You have pessimism on
I
your
have a
side.
history on my side, dude.
A history of what? We've never dealt with the internet before.
We've been dealing with the internet since the 1990s, dude.
Okay.
This is only new to you. This is not new.
No, it's new in general. How long has the Earth existed? This
well,
is new.
Okay.
This is new.
Okay,
How long did Rome exist? This is new.
All of civilization at that point. Okay, yes.
This is new.
Relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, this is very, very new.
Yeah, but it's really not. And the reason it's not new is because it goes in circles. You can see what human nature does.
Yeah.
You know where it's going. Power corrupts. The more power you give to someone without checks and balances, the more corrupt they're going to be.
Right. And what happens constantly, time and time again, throughout all of history?
Something collapses and gets rebuilt.
Checks and balances.
That's not what I said. I said something collapses and gets rebuilt.
Checks and that is what you said. That is.
Well, okay, so we're waiting for the collapse? Excellent. When's it coming?
Well, what will the collapse look like?
In my mind, we all get to live in the, like, agrarian societies again.
Why?
I don't know, I just think it'd be fun.
Sounds boring.
No, it's good. A lot of hard work. Hard work.
I don't care.
I know.
I'm an entertainer.
You could be a minstrel. You could be a singing minstrel.
I could be.
And you could make your life, make your money singing and entertaining people.
I could.
Not a thing to be taken lightly.
Mm.
No, I actually think that that's important because people have always needed entertainment.
That is true.
They've always needed
That is
entertainment,
true.
and people look down on that. Go, you're not working. Hold on. We need entertainment. That's something to do. So you could make your money as a singing minstrel.
But going back to my point.
I, however, have no agrarian skills whatsoever.
Yes, you do.
Do not need to program a plow.
Not program, but you have rather decent organization and leadership skills.
Oh, thank you very much.
So you could lead a farm. I put you in charge of this. I put you in charge of this. I put you in charge of this. People report back to you. You would be good at that.
I could be the, what do they call it? The
Manager.
Yeah, there was another name for it. Feudal times. I forget what it was called.
I don't know.
I forget. Anyway, I could be that. Okay.
But pretty much the reason I asked what does the collapse look like is because the collapse looks like many different things throughout history. You go back to the ancient Greek.
I'm thinking Pompeii. That was a collapse.
Yes, but no, the Athens Society. They had one of the most advanced democratic societies in existence at the time. They had town meetings and men and women could both vote, and there were and they were super, ahead of the curve in science and a lot of other things. One of the most powerful, Greek cities.
Yes. And what happened to them? How did they collapse?
Alexander the Great.
He was not so great?
No, he was fantastic.
Oh, okay.
He outsmarted them in battle and took them over.
Well, there's that. So anyone that comes around with the name of Alexander, we should worry about.
Well, then you go over to Rome.
They just fell apart on their own.
Exactly. That's another collapse. So you have the conquer collapse. You have the falling apart collapse. Great Britain.
They never
The
really
British Empire.
collapsed.
Oh, yes, they did.
Well, they kind of spiraled down.
Another type of
Yeah,
collapse.
yeah, okay.
Rebellion here, Indian rebellion, American rebellion, Canada just going, yeah, okay, we want our own, and we don't really want to fight a war, and England going, actually, yeah, that's a good idea, we just fought 7. That's another type of collapse.
Yeah.
And each time something collapsed, something else
Took its place.
took its place
Always
and
does.
grew up.
Yeah.
But with the example of America, the collapse that happened, what took its place
Wait,
was
that was
something
not a C.
was
That's still not a C.
something much more democratic and people oriented.
Where are we? Are we in England now? We're in England?
America.
America.
Early America.
Early America.
Early America.
Yes.
Many more people had a say than did before.
Yes. Yes.
Because
yes.
before nobody had a say. England was like, yeah, you say this. And
Yeah,
America's like, no, I don't. With Rome.
Yes.
Rome collapsed and more people had a say because it separated into many small different countries instead of one emperor dictating everything.
It kind of separated into feudal Europe. Is kind of
Right.
what it broke down into. Yeah.
Right.
So Rome
But-
did not so much collapse.
It did.
I mean, it kind of
collapse.
did, but it
did
transitioned. It
collapse.
collapsed. Rome went away, but wasn't conquered.
Well, neither was
neither was
the British Empire.
Exactly.
It wasn't
So-
conquered, but it did kind of
So
collapse.
is that
a
what
bit.
you mean by collapse? Sure. If you want to define that as collapse, sure. That could be collapse.
That is what I think a collapse will more look like. I highly
Probably.
doubt a collapse will actually be a sort of the world is burning and America is like totally trashed and
My Way makes for a far better movie script, though.
yes,
Okay.
yes it does.
Thank you very much.
But it's much less realistic.
Probably, yeah.
And-
No, I think the U.S. collapse will look more like Britain or Rome
Yes.
than like Greece. Just because of the power and the stretch of the British Empire was huge.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to take the whole thing down. It kind of fell apart. So did Rome. Same sort of thing.
And I am going back to what we talked about in a previous podcast with big tech companies being the ones to take over the world.
Yeah.
That is my alternate theory to that.
Big tech companies will take over the United States.
Either they'll take over the United States and then the planet.
Yeah.
And the planet will be ruled by tech companies instead of governments. The tech companies will become the governments.
That's not a bad dystopian movie, actually.
Or
Yeah.
the tech companies will collapse in the same way that countries do. Too big, too many problems. I can 100% see something like Amazon getting so huge it will have America and Britain and Sweden and the UN
Yeah.
starting to do something about it and going, hey, hold on, what's going up here? And after like 50 years of infighting and something like that, it will eventually break down into this is a delivery sector, this is a this sector, this is a this sector, this
Like
is
just
a this
become
sector.
small, kind of like Rome did.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've
Because
never
it just
seen-
couldn't sustain itself before.
I've never seen a company do that. but
Because
it's,
we've never seen a
Right.
company this big before.
Right, because in order for what you're saying to happen, the company kind of has to transition into a government.
Exactly.
At which point we have seen it.
Right.
So yeah, there's
But
some.
that's
there's some
already kind of
point
happening
there.
because governments are known for taking information from their citizens
Yeah.
and doing stuff with it. Cough, cough, China.
Right. Yeah.
We already have companies that have more information on citizens of countries than the governments themselves
Well, yeah, no, that's
do.
true. That's true. I think what's missing is the legal power of the companies. Right, they're not to government status yet.
But some of them are getting there.
Like who?
The amount of pull
Yeah.
that the music production companies have with
Yeah.
the U.S. government
Yeah.
is absolutely massive.
I have no idea. I don't follow that.
The
so-
entire copyright system
Yeah.
and why a lot of the music industry is the way it is now
Yeah.
is because the music production companies went to the government and said, hey, this whole internet thing is a problem. We need a way to make sure that we keep getting
Get
our money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the government's like, why? And the music industry is like,
I s-
here are our reasons, and
yeah.
here's a check.
I suddenly got the "Don't Download That Song"
Yes.
going through my head from Weird Al. It's like,
Yes.
okay.
But that's what a government does
No,
to another government, is they're like,
yeah.
here are reasons why we do this, also we're paying you off, or also we're not attacking
yeah,
you,
okay.
or also we're
You're-
not doing
you're-
this.
You're simplifying it a little too much. Yes, that is one small example where
But-
they're that powerful. However, when they become so powerful that they can start interfering with other people's lives and doing things governments do, like taxing them and dictating rules and passing laws, now they've reached status of government.
But what I'm saying is that things... Are you empty?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that was gone.
What I'm saying is things are trending that way.
I agree with that, and I think this is the first time in history where it's actually possible for a company to become as powerful as a government.
Yeah.
I think it really is. I think this is the first time in history
Yeah.
where that could happen.
I agree.
Now, there's been a lot of sci-fis where that has happened,
Mm.
and companies actually had fleets of ships and took over parts of planets, and they were just in this charge. And it was just, okay, that's controlled by this federation, and that's the way it was.
Yeah.
And they weren't governments. They
By
were
and large.
right, and other more dystopian things. But so I think
Elgin.
yes, it's possible. Another 100 years, another 50
Possibly,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I'm
you
not.
know,
I'm not looking at time frames because,
Yeah.
as I said before,
Yeah.
I can't. You can never tell
Yeah.
time frame wise.
But then there's
But I'm just saying, the collapse of companies being similar to the collapse of countries is very possible, in my opinion.
yes, but I think yes, but I think it has to happen where this way, the companies have to become like countries,
Right.
And then you can go through the
Right.
country phase.
But in the other scenario that we were talking about, that happens. How they get powerful and control the
Okay,
planet
yeah,
is they get that
here's-
powerful.
here's
So
a-
pretty much what I'm
yeah.
I'm tacking on a flip side to the idea I had earlier, the idea I had in the previous
Mm-hmm.
episode. Where the idea I had in the previous episode was companies will get so powerful that they will run the planet instead of countries.
Now,
And the flip side to that will
Mhm.
be companies will run the same history course as countries have, because when they get to that certain point,
become
then
countries,
power
basically.
structures
Yeah.
and they'll collapse.
Yeah.
And
Right.
lose some of the power. Maybe they'll lose their military, or they'll lose their ability to do X, Y, Z,
Right.
because when they collapse, an
Now-
actual government steps in.
now
and-
the thing we're forgetting here is that what would stop companies from doing that would be a military moving in and saying, "We've got the guns, you don't, we win."
Yeah.
That has happened in history.
Yes.
So, when the countries, wrong word. When the companies start funding their own militaries, watch out. Now you've got a problem, because now
Drones.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. It's like, oh, can we do this? But
It's already happening.
You-
Amazon is making drones. Just
Right.
put a turret on that, and you're
Right.
golden.
But okay, so now you've got a shooting war happening. Oh, now you've really got two countries fighting each other. It's like you got the resources of that could get weird. Yeah, that could get
A
weird.
country growing inside of another country.
Right.
That would be the first time in
Right.
history that
That
happens.
would be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
Would the country let that happen?
Would
Could
they
you-
notice?
Okay, there's two scenarios. Would they notice?
Because
Okay,
with how
and you would let's go with, if they didn't notice, well, then they'd let it happen because they're not noticing.
exactly.
But what if they did? Would they let it happen, or would they just go, "Hold on, no, we're not letting that happen. We're shooting your." No. Would they just pull it?
That depends on where it happens.
Like what part of the world?
What
it
part of
happens
the
in?
world? Who's in charge of said country? The ideologies of that country.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Something. If it was in something like the Middle East, no, they'd be shut down immediately.
Yeah.
Be like, no, you can't have that. If it's in somewhere a lot more moderate,
Yeah.
like
The U.S.
I don't know, the U.S.'s army is still kind of don't touch us, we'll shoot you.
Yeah. Where else could you go, though? I mean,
But I possibly somewhere in Europe, where they're a bit more passive and a bit
Yeah.
more, we really don't want you to, we really don't, okay, we're stepping in, oh, it's a bit late now.
possibly. I
Where
don't
where
think
they
it would-
notice
yeah.
it. And then you also
Wouldn't
have
hap-
the situation.
Wouldn't happen in China.
No.
Wouldn't
No,
happen.
would,
Wouldn't
well,
happen.
have you? Never mind.
Okay,
I'll get to that
different
later.
topic.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. I'll tell you to research some things first. But China's cracking down on a lot of the companies in China, and I don't know if that's because the government wants to take all the information and control for themselves, or if the government is making sure that they don't have competitors.
Either way. Yeah. Yeah.
But you could very easily have a country that it's like, okay, we want to stop this, But we know for a fact that if we do step in and do something, news outlets will say this thing. There'll be a huge outcry from our population
Yeah.
because they're getting a different version than what we're actually seeing is happening. And we don't want to have to deal with this company building a military and our citizens rioting.
Yeah, there's that option too. I mean, now you got to wonder, okay, who's the news media
Exactly.
being paid off by?
Yeah.
Because, the information influences people.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the problems we have in the world in general is you do not have, especially in the U.S., but I'm assuming it's in the world, you do not actually have honest reporting.
No.
You've got opinion reporting.
Yeah.
And so whatever
You used
direction...
to have honest reporting.
I think you used to.
Not
but-
anymore.
So now whatever direction you want to focus it in,
Yeah.
you just report that, and
Yeah.
you influence people, and that's it. So there is no more, I don't think, the whole concept of free elections, I think, is gone.
Right.
Because in order for free elections, you need honest reporting. We obviously didn't have that in the last few decades. Right? So there have been no free elections in a while.
Yeah.
But,
But I'm just saying, if you have the company that's making the military the one funding the media,
oh yeah, well,
then that could be a really big hesitation from the government. Going, we don't know if we can step in.
the only option there is you pull the plug on the media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, when you've got the guns, you can do a lot.
Yes.
If you've got the guns and the troops, you can do a lot. So, but would you? Then what? Well, then you've now turned any democratic society you had into what? Totalitarian society?
Exactly.
Okay, you preserve power, but what have you turned into in the process?
Exactly.
Is it worth it? Guess it depends on your ideology. Missed. Are we over? Oh, we're over.
Yes.
18 minutes over.
Yes.
Well, that's good. We started 10 minutes late. So.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I have 10 minutes of me talking every now and again, and then the podcast actually starts.
Yeah, right. Well,
So,
thank
yeah.
you for playing.
You're welcome.
Twang.
And thank you everyone for watching and tuning in to episode 29 of the Rubber Mushroom Podcast.
And wasting another hour and 10 minutes of your life. We appreciate that. Something you'll never get back again. I think it was educational for some people.
Probably. Alright, yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Tune in next week, maybe, possibly, maybe. I don't know.
Why not next week? Next week is fine.
Maybe.
Why? What's happening next week? I don't know about.
My 3-year anniversary.
Doesn't have to be on Friday.
It is, though. I don't know, we'll see. Thank you for tuning in, and, yeah. Do you want to plug anything before we leave? Coffeeunderstands.coffee.
Yeah.
Go there. Get coffee. Bye.
Bye, folks.